Good morning. Welcome to the Wake Up Flow. Something a little different today. Back a couple of years ago, when we were doing this in studio, we would kind of pattern our sequence of sets during the week on a theme. And like yesterday, we did Tai Chi on Tuesdays, or Tai Chi forms. We had something we called a Walking Wednesday. There's a form of Qigong called Walking Qigong, which is really just very mindful walking. There's quite a bit of nuance to it, but we're going to do that today in our member session, along with the long white cloud set between heaven and earth. But today what I thought I would do is we'll go through our normal warm-up, but then I will show you very simple Qigong. Actually use traditional Chinese medicine as part of cancer therapy. It's called Goblin Walking. So it's a very specific way of walking. Certainly not the only one. There's also one that I'm very fond of, but not yet teaching, called Bagua. That's a form of circle walking that's done in conjunction with some arm and hand movements. So this one's very simple, but we'll warm up first, and then we'll get into the Goblin Walking. We'll show you that. We'll just do a few minutes of that this morning. And then if you want a little greater dose of that a little bit later today, you can pick up the either the member session live. Just contact me and I'll send you the link. Or this week, we're pushing those out to public previews, both on YouTube and on Facebook. So let's begin today. Feet about shoulder width apart, knees nice and soft, a little bit of bounce in the knees there. Upper torso is erect, and you can imagine your head being pulled up by a string, lengthening the spine and neck. That will almost automatically tuck your chin back to where we want it, so you got a nice straight line, but nice relaxed straight line. And then let's begin to turn the upper torso from side to side, just letting the arms swing free. And we'll get a little bit of rhythm going here before we add on. Keep your feet rooted here. We're just turning the upper torso, kind of work our way down. And then begin tapping. Tapping on the lower belly and lower back. Call this our energy center, our lower dantian. There are a number of disciplines out there that tapping is their modality. It's long been a part of Qigong, tapping various acupressure points along the meridians. Intrigued by the tapping and why we do tapping, look up some information on EFT, emotional freedom tapping. There's quite a bit of material out there. It's a very simple method, and a lot of people get a lot of benefit from it. Let's take our front hand, move that up the body. Another tapping point. A little hollow space where the shoulder meets the chest. This one's said to be good to relieve stress and anxiety. In movement traditions that pattern our movements along the meridian systems, we know this is the end of the lung meridian. Associated with a number of things, but the one that pops to mind for most people is promoting better immunity. Let's take this one step further, open up the hand, come on up over the shoulder, just an open hand now. The arms just get loose, and add a little weight shift here. Just kind of let yourself relax. Just getting the body temp up a little bit. Getting a little fluid moving in the joints. And let's come back down, back into loose fists. Working our way back down to the lower belly. And then begin to accentuate that weight shift. Building strength and flexibility in the ankles. Just letting your feet roll to the inside and outside. Body weight otherwise balanced front to back. I'm throwing a little curveball this morning when I fired up the stream. They completely changed their live event streaming interface. So I had to quickly learn the new interface in about 30 seconds. So hopefully this is all working correctly. Now let's take the hands, float back off the body, turning that tap into a reach. Let your arms swinging across cause a little momentum to cause that trailing heel to lift. And let's flatten this out. Turn. A little twist of the spine. Slow this down. Begin to deepen out the breathing. The Goblin Walking I'm going to show you is a very distinct breathing pattern. One of the very measurable things that comes out of this form of walking we're going to do is increased blood oxygen level. And it'll be apparent why that is true once we start. There's a few other nuances that we want to cover. And let's start shrinking this down, working our way back to our starting position. And we'll connect to the breath today with a little silk reeling. So let's bring one palm up in front. Breathe in, drag it back along the body. Spiral the hand in the back. Breathe out as the back of the hand floats forward. Breathing in and breathing out. Harmonizing the movement of the body, breath. This is where the magic happens. There are a lot of variations to these silk reeling moves. They're exceptionally good for folks who spend a lot of time sitting working at a computer and have repetitive stress problems in their elbow, wrist, hand, all this spiraling motion originating in the shoulder, but the spiral works its way all the way down the arm into the hand. I get a lot of relief from these, the repetitive stress, by doing these sorts of movements. Let's get the other hand ready and change sides, breathing in and breathing out. Doing some of these things for the first time, or you haven't done very much of it, you may find it difficult to slow down enough to match movement with breath. Stay with it. It comes. Let's get both arms working together now. Breathing in and breathing out. Just take a couple more of these, and then we'll show you some steps. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's get one more. In the front, let the palms flatten and just float down. All right, the Goblin Walking. So the way that this usually works, and there are some variations of it, but this is kind of the stock way. If you pull up a video on Goblin Walking or Walking Qigong or something, this is the most likely thing that you'll see. So first of all, the step itself. We use the whole foot. There's, I believe, 6 of the meridians that run all the way down the legs into the feet. So we want to be able to work the entire foot. So we're going to start with the heel, roll all the way through the foot to come off the toe. As you come onto that toe, you begin to pick up the other foot. And it's heel, middle of foot, toe. Heel, middle of foot, toe. So we're walking across the entire foot. Along with that, there's a little arm swing. So a little bit of a turn. And then the most unique part of this is the breath that goes with it. Left step, 2 sips of breath in. So, and then on the right step, you 1 long breath out. So you can see it's a little challenging to get all of those things working together. And we usually walk in a circle. Now the space that I'm in right now is about maybe 5 feet by 5 feet, maybe 6 by 6. And that's big enough. In Bagua walking, we're walking usually in a bigger circle. If you observe people, say in parks in China, doing Bagua, you'll see them walking around these massive structures, and they'll be walking around a tree or walking around benches or walking around a fountain or something like that. This can be done in a very small space. It can actually be done walking forward and backward as well, but a little more continuity if you do it in a little bit of a circle. So we're just going to do this for a couple of minutes. I'll change direction after a couple of loops around, and then we'll take it around the other way, and then we'll go into our normal close. So let's begin. So 2 sips of breath in. You're not going for perfection necessarily, and you may find you need to do some adjustments periodically to get the breath and the movement to work together. You can even just work this 1 step at a time. You can concentrate first on getting the movement of the feet so that you're striking on the heel, floating across the middle of the foot, coming off the toe. So first get the step down. And then maybe to the step, add the little arm swing, turn of the head, and then finally add the breath. Let's take it the other direction now. And let's bring it back to center. So that's Goblin Walking. It's one of the several forms of walking Qigong. That's the one that we do in our member sessions. Probably be next summer before we add the Baguazhang to our kind of toolbox of things that show up in classes. So let's do our normal close today. So arms rise overhead as we breathe in. Come on up on the balls of your feet. And then as you lower the palms, lower the heels. One more time. Breathing in. And breathing out. At the bottom, let the hands separate. Toss one away. Come overhead. And then as you breathe out, let it come right down the center line of the body. hovering just a few inches in front of the body. Other side, breathe in and breathe out. The hands come back together, hand over hand, goes over the lower belly. Feet a little closer together. Close your eyes. Let's finish with 3 deep breaths. One more nice deep breath. And as you release that breath, go ahead and release the hands back to your sides. Give everything a little shake. And thanks for joining me today. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Namaste.